The last train to love. Aarav had never been a believer in fate. Life, he thought, was just a series of random events, coincidences strung together without meaning. But that was before he met her. Every evening at exactly 7:30 p.m., he caught the last train home. It was a dull routine, the same crowded station, the same tired faces, the same monotony. But one evening, everything changed. That was the first time he saw her. She always sat by the window, lost in a book. Her dark hair cascaded over her shoulders, and every so often, she would tuck a loose strand behind her ear as she turned a page. She was unaware of the world around her, immersed in words that seemed to hold the universe within them. Aarav found himself drawn to her, though he didn't know why. For weeks, their interactions were nothing more than stolen glances. He memorized the way she smiled when she read something she liked, the way she traced the edges of the pages absent-mindedly. He wished he had the courage to speak to her, but what would he say? That he admired the way she read? That her presence made the mundane train ride feel like something special? One evening, fate, or perhaps destiny, intervened. The train jolted to an abrupt stop, and her book slipped from her hands, landing near his feet. Aarav hesitated for a moment before picking it up. His fingers brushed against hers as he handed it back. "You like poetry?" he asked, reading the title. She looked up at him for the first time. Her eyes were warm, deep pools of emotion. "It makes the world feel a little less lonely," she said softly. That night, for the first time, they talked. And then they talked again the next night. And the next. Their conversation started with books but quickly moved beyond them. They spoke of dreams, of childhood memories, of fears and hopes. Aarav learned that her name was Meera, that she loved the sound of rain but hated getting wet, that she believed in love but feared heartbreak. And Meera learned that Aarav had once dreamed of being a writer but had given up on it, that he preferred coffee over tea, that he was terrified of goodbyes. Slowly, unknowingly, they became part of each other's lives. The train was no longer just a means of getting home, it was their world, a sacred place where time seemed to pause, just for them. But love, as Aarav had always feared, was not immune to the whims of fate. One evening, Meera sat quieter than usual, her fingers fidgeting with the edge of her book. Aarav could sense it before she even spoke. "I'm leaving," she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I got my dream job, but it's in another country." The train seemed to slow, the noise of the world fading into the background. Aarav felt something tighten in his chest, but he forced a smile. "That's amazing, Meera. You deserve it." She looked at him, her eyes searching his, as if hoping to find something there, something that would make leaving easier. Their last train ride together was silent, their hands clasped, their hearts heavy with words left unsaid. As they reached her stop, she turned back one last time. "Meet me here," she whispered. "Same time, 1 year from today." And then she was gone. Aarav waited. Every evening at 7:30, he sat by the window, hoping. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, but he never missed a single ride. He told himself he wasn't waiting for her, that he was simply keeping a promise, nothing more. But deep down, he knew the truth. 1 year later, as the train doors opened, his breath caught. There she was. Standing in the doorway, holding a book of poetry. "Still lonely?" she asked, smiling. Aarav reached for her hand, his heart pounding. "Not anymore." And just like that, love, patient, unwavering, had found its way back.